All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Used to Be a Spy. This is our Burn Notice rewatch podcast. And as always, I have forgotten the episode number and name. Media Wench, do you know those?
Number 9, Hard Bargain.
It's season 1, episode 9, Hard Bargain. And I'm producer Dave. You can find me on Blue Sky at Plex-Dave.
I'm Media Wench. You can find me here on Ecoplex Media for the last freaking almost 10 years now. You can also find me at Blue Sky at Media Wench. And here's our podcast. I'm going to read this one, which is going to be fun.
So before we get started, some of the things we look out for, we don't just look out for these things, but some of them we look out for is characters welcome, any cool guest stars. And so far the answer to that has been no. There's been guest stars, but ain't nobody cool yet. Trust me, it'll happen. It'll happen. I promise. A bunch of like people who have a sense of humor about their fame end up showing it up in this show later. Is anyone besides Fiona hitting on Michael? This one's interesting. Was Marilyn manipulating people? And I think we should change it to was Marilyn manipulating people more than usual, which isn't going to apply this one or the last one because she seems to be MIA. Mm-mm. Did they do any terrorism? That's almost every episode. Magic Mike, were there any plot holes where it wasn't really explained how Michael got out of some situation or did something? And we apply that to other characters too. It's like, how did Fee do that? My favorite is collateral damage. Did just by happenstance, did they not like the client or the bad guy, just some random person, did they fuck up some random person's life or blow up a restaurant or any number of those kinds of things? And was Sam Axe extra horny at any point, which is again pretty high bar after the first episode? And then of course, is there any bad OPSEC? Did they do anything that we noticed that would have probably gotten them caught? And of course, we also burn notice other things. So, you want to get started?
Yes, yeah. Like I said, this episode is season 1, episode 9. It is called Hard Bargain. And sorry, let me go ahead and this a little bit better than it is. Okay. This episode opens up on the beach with women in bikinis playing football because, of course, it does. You get a butt shot, but also no wedgie. Michael and Fee are doing a walk and talk saying nothing really, but Fee is 110% thirsty as usual. Michael is there to scope out some guy. His name is Perry Clark. Michael thinks the guy may be able to get him off the blacklist. Apparently, Michael called the Miami PD on the guy to see how he handles himself. As expected, the guy is a bureaucrat, not an operator. Michael and Fee leave after doing the most conspicuous surveillance possible.
Yeah, like that was weird. They weren't even remember when they were hiding behind those little tiny trees? They weren't even doing that. They were just standing there like 200 yards or something from the guy and just staring right at him.
Yeah. Just like, oh, we're just this normal couple totally just staring off directly in the eyeballs of this dude in a suit gonna just die of heat stroke out in the middle of the Miami sun holding a briefcase.
Yeah, like it's weird. It's weird because like it would have been like if they would have like kind of acted casual until the cops came and then started looking when the cops came, that would have seemed normal. Yeah. Although the guy knows who the fuck Michael is, so I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. This is a really bad OPSEC, and I think it's just bad writing, honestly.
Well, also the camera work was really bad too because they made it just look like basically they were standing across the street from each other, which was ridiculous.
Right. And we don't know it. I assume that they were some distance away, but you couldn't tell really because there was no like point of reference for how far away they were. So you're right. They could have been fucking 50 feet away.
Sorry about that.
Editing is a wonderful thing.
Back at the loft, Fee is laying on the bed. Well, it's more like a mattress on the floor. Michael is on speakerphone with Perry Clark, who is pretty pissed off about the whole Miami PD thing. Michael suggests another meeting, and Perry says he'll check his schedule. Michael's phone rings, and he makes it's mom face, but actually it's Sam. Sam says he's on his way over, even though Michael tries to explain that he's in the middle of something else, because Sam doesn't give a fuck about anybody else's schedule.
That is true.
Unless it is his drinking or fucking schedule, and then it's absolutely fucking, yeah. Cut to Mike and Sam in the new car that his lady friend bought him. Mike asks what he does to these women. Yeah, questionable. Sam begins to explain, and Michael says, "Never mind," because I wouldn't want to know either. He is no Podrick. Sam has info on Perry, but just that he's some paper pusher from DC. Michael's not impressed, but Sam points out that being Michael's pal doesn't make him popular with his contacts in DC. Sam's lady friend knows someone who needs help. Sam says it should be a cakewalk. And that should have been the sign of bad things to come.
That's the way it always works, right? When Sam brings the case to Michael, he's like, "This is going to be really easy," and it's always the craziest fucking thing.
Yeah. The duo walk up to a mansion. A young man comes to the door. We meet Nick Lamb, a dude with a problem. They even notate that. It's like Nick, dude with problem. It's like on Scientology TV where it's like person, manager.
Sometimes they get a name on Scientology TV. Sometimes
the fucking fake name. Michael comments on how expensive the place is and suggests that Nick could have called Halliburton. Nick says, "Halliburton? I don't know him." Nick explains that he's a house sitter. Sam inquires about how one might apply for such a job. Yeah. The house is like super nice. It's all marble. There's like gold shit everywhere. It's really nice. Nick explains that his fiance Dawn was kidnapped and held ransom for $5 million. Nick fesses up to the fact that he let Dawn think that the house and the cars were his. The kidnappers are going to call in an hour. Michael does not seem happy with this job. Michael agrees and tells Sam that they're going to need Fee's help. So I actually, at this point in this story, I was starting to go one way. This was going to be a Sherry Papini situation. And
like that she had just left him. Like she found out that that would have been a better story than what ended up happening here, though. If it would have turned out that she found out that shit wasn't his and pretended to get kidnapped so she didn't have to break up with him.
No, it was the other way where she didn't know that this stuff wasn't his, but she thought it was. So if he was a rich mark, that she could have gotten the money from him, but he didn't have it.
Oh, that's interesting too, because that's the exact scam that the gang pulls later, actually.
Michael is coaching Nick on the patio. The phone rings. Nick and Michael both pick up separate handsets. Remember when people had home phones? Oh yeah, I had almost that exact same phone too. Nick says he's not going to pay until he knows Dawn wasn't hurt. The bad guy tells Nick to meet him at Coconut Grove Mall in 2 hours. Because there was malls that people went to. Remember malls back in the day?
I remember the mall. I bet Coconut Grove Mall was a nice mall.
That mall that we used to live next to got shot up this last weekend. In Sam's new caddy, Michael is instructing Nick on what to do at the mall. He tells Nick to pick up the package and walk off. That's it. Don't look at or talk to Sam and Fee. Nick seems too stupid for this. He's like, "I do what? You walk. I what?
What, dude? What?
What, dude?" He's the worst. Like, I didn't know that there was going to be possible that there was going to be a worse character than that one little teenage girl in one of the first episodes of the show. But here we are.
Yeah, I hate this guy.
This guy is an idiot. They're playing this character as a dumb surfer bro pretty aggressively. Yeah, no, they really are. Nick is sitting at the shopping center. Fee is pretending to shop, as is Michael. Nick's cell rings, and of course, he looks around like an idiot. Michael spots a guy who's probably surveillance. Nick pulls out an envelope out of a newspaper stand, and of course, holds the envelope and looks directly at Michael, like sort of some famous Bigfoot video.
Yeah, remember that famous Bigfoot video where the Bigfoot's walking and they just look right at the camera? It was like that.
Looks directly at the person operating the camera. The surveillance guy obviously sees this and runs from Michael. Michael catches up to the guy. The guy pulls a gun. Fee zaps him with a taser and they take him hostage, doubling the number of hostages in this situation. We have a bit of a quid pro quo.
Yeah, at this point, like, I kind of thought, because I didn't really remember this episode, I kind of thought that they were going to try to trade. But as we find out later, actually, yeah, that wouldn't work because the gangster guy, the bad guy, or whoever the fucking main bad guy is, does not give a fuck about this henchman guy.
Not even a little bit. Back at the mansion, Nick is watching a video of Dawn that was provided. Nick is freaking out, saying he's sorry over and over again, definitely annoying Michael. Nick, genius as he is, figures out that they're going to do a hostage trade, but he's wrong. Michael explains that if the hostage takers find out, they'll just kill Dawn and leave town. Michael explains that the guy they took hostage might help them find Dawn. Cut to Fee torturing the hostage with the stun gun. Giant smile on her face, looking way too satisfied with herself. We learn from Sam that the hostage's name is Lucio Velasquez from Colombia. They take a picture of him with Sam looking like they're buddies having a beer together. Then they show Lucio a forged cooperating witness form and say they might just let him go, giving the picture and the form to Lucio's boss. They turn Lucio into a double agent. He agrees, and they ask where Dawn is. He doesn't know. The bosses didn't tell him. He explains that the boss, Reyes, keeps things pretty well compartmentalized. Lucio says that he needs to check in with Reyes, that he's already late calling to check in. Michael says to tell Reyes that he broke his foot leaving the mall. Fee then stomps on Lucio's foot, again smiling ear to ear, looking very satisfied with herself.
This is a pretty good Fee episode so far.
This is a pretty good Fee episode, but I also noticed when it comes to like really doing anything like physically, emotionally, or actually violent, they always put it off on Fee, so they don't have like aggressive males, I think, or something. I mean, Michael is good for a good ass kicking, like a spy type karate style.
Right, but he never starts it.
Fee is ready to throw down at the drop of a hat. barely a wink and a nod, and she's breaking some kneecaps. Back at the mansion, Sam is tending bar. Michael needs to borrow one of the expensive cars and also needs another house. They're going to use a penthouse downtown and the Mercedes Nick has access to as to create a fake new target for Lucio. Fee is going to play the rich society wife and Sam will play the disgruntled bodyguard. Nick likes the plan, it seems. At the penthouse, Fee and Sam get in the Mercedes. Fee with a little dog in tow. Lucio and Reyes are nearby, staking out the scene. In the shopping district, Fee is playing the part pretty well, making Sam hold the dog, her shopping bags, etc. It's like what it would look like in a whole other life. In some foggy place straight out of the X-Files, Lucio walks up and Michael is there waiting for him. Lucio says that the ruse seems to be working, but he wants out, saying Reyes is going to kill him. Michael ignores that, mostly, tells Lucio to tell Reyes that Nick's family has hired a hostage negotiator who wants to speak with Reyes in person. Lucio, really having no choice, agrees. Michael goes to meet with Perry, the government bureaucrat, at a restaurant/bar. Perry suggests a meeting at his office in Fort Lauderdale. Michael says he can't get there for at least a couple of days and suggests a meeting at Michael's place. Perry reluctantly agrees and leaves. He didn't even touch his shrimp cocktail. That is a travesty.
And it's also a couple things. One, it's Michael can't leave Miami because of the burn notice.
Right.
And he should have said, he could have said, I can't leave Miami, that I become radioactive as soon as I leave Miami. But also, strangely enough, Michael wasn't already just eating the guy's fucking fruit cocktail like he usually does. He was maybe trying to pretend to be nice to the guy or something. Because otherwise you would just think he would just be eating the guy's fruit cocktail because that's how he do.
Anytime any one of these guys can grab a free drink, a free meal. I mean, they are entrepreneurs of the adversarial type. So wherever they can get some protein.
Yeah, that fruit cocktail looked good as fuck too. So
no yogurt in this episode. Yogurtless episode.
So far. I didn't see any yogurt in this episode. They didn't spend much time in the loft. I think that's why. They had like real food at the fucking mansion.
Let's see. Michael is just kind of randomly somewhere. It's one of those magic Michael things. He's like, hi, I was here and now I'm here. No like description of where they're at. Just locations.
And this was one of those scenes where they were doing the weird, like they had a drone and they were doing all that fucking shit where the camera fucking goes back and forth. And it was more like they were showing off like that they have multiple cameras and a video editor, I think.
Right. Reyes calls. Michael's alias is Andrew Chambers, hostage negotiator. Reyes says he has a sniper trained on Chambers, asks why he shouldn't just kill him, and asks how he knows Chambers isn't a cop. Chambers points out that he's wearing an Armani sport coat and that cops don't tend to wear Armani. A yellow Lambo pulls up and some dude says, nice suit, get in. Chambers gets in.
So again, like they only dress him like, I don't know. I didn't think he looked particularly good in that Armani suit, but they only like attempt to make it look like they're dressing him well when he's like an alias, right?
Right. Yeah. Chamber shows up at a massage place wearing only a towel. Reyes says he hopes he doesn't mind. Chamber says it's obviously so Reyes knows he's not wearing a wire, and that's smart. Chamber says that the family doesn't like Don that much. Reyes asks for a counter offer. Chambers offers $1 million. Reyes counters $3 million. Chamber says that he'll take it to the family, but he needs 72 hours for him to think about it. Reyes says 48 hours, and the girl dies. Chambers agrees. Reyes disappears. Chambers finishes his massage.
Yeah, that was funny. He's like, he paid for the whole hour, didn't he?
Back at the mansion, Fee is admiring the owner's gun collection. Fee is also admiring the TV. Nick gets annoyed with the small talk and begs Fee to save Don. Michael shows up. The plan is that Sam, under whatever his alias is here, is going to get Reyes to show him where the hostages are kept. So this is another one of these turning points in this episode where I thought it was going to go another way. Like I thought that Nick was, as Fee was pointing things out, Nick knew a lot of information about things were around there. So I thought maybe at this point that he was lying that he wasn't rich because he was just like, maybe he was just ridiculously cheap and didn't want to pay the ransom and was just pretending that he was like a house sitter and this stuff wasn't his. But then I was like, no, that didn't work out. So there was a couple of ways that they, through bad writing, tricked me.
Right. At the
into thinking something better was going to happen.
And earlier, I thought maybe they were going to let them kidnap Fee because the last thing you want to do is kidnap Fiona.
No,
right?
yeah, that was another way that I thought they were going to go too. But eventually, they are going to kidnap Fee, but not Fee.
Right.
Or they were.
Well, yeah. But what I was saying is like I thought that they were going to let them kidnap Fee so that Fee could go in there and do a Fiona.
Yeah, to instigate some violence.
Right. Senseless. Well, I mean, this would be in service of getting rid of rescuing a hostage, but there would be no reason for her to blow up the entire block as they leave. But that's probably what I mean, that was like what I thought was probably going to happen here. And no, none of that.
Right. Back at the loft, Michael is on the phone with Lucio, who says Reyes is getting impatient. Michael and Sam put a GPS locator in the sole of a shoe, like the old show Get Smart. They just like take apart what looks like a garage door opener or a
right.
diabetes testing, glucose testing machine or something. Like it has GPS in it. Sam and Reyes are doing a walk and talk ostensibly about rich society wife. Sam says he needs to see where the hostages are kept because it won't fly if she gets hurt. After Sam's own brand of razzle dazzle, Reyes reluctantly agrees and they get into Reyes' car. They arrive at the hostage location. Sam likes the place and leaves. Yeah, when Sam gives the old razzle dazzle, it's hard to disagree with him.
And I mean, what he said is he's like, "Hey, now I'm your accomplice, so
right.
I'm going down with you. So I need to know what's going on here."
Yeah,
and that's fair enough, I suppose. I don't know. I still like the bad guy's an idiot, but like whatever. That's sort of the point here.
We're trying to micromanage the bad guy's attitude. Michael shows up to Reyes' place as Fee and Sam show up to the hostage stash location, or at least that's how the editing of the show makes it seem.
Yeah, because this is another part. They've done this a couple times where in this episode, they did a bunch of camera angle stuff when Michael was at that place, wherever the fuck it was. And then they did this where they were cutting back and forth between two things that were going on, making it hard for me to write the script. Thanks.
I accidentally skipped a paragraph though. So Lucio shows up to the loft and tells Michael that Reyes is killing Dawn in 2 hours. Michael goes to the mansion to formulate a plan with Nick. Michael gets supplies and gets to work. He creates a makeshift flash grenade and some homemade thermite. Fee and Sam head off to rescue Dawn while Michael, as Andrew Chambers, goes to meet Reyes. Because, of course, everything that you need to create any sort of incendiary device is located under your kitchen sink. Michael shows up to Reyes' place as Fee and Sam show up to the hostage stash location, or else that's how the editing of the show makes it seem. Sam can see people through a window of the hostage stash location. What dumb fucking criminals can't even put some of that fucking tinfoil over the fucking windows or something?
Or like a curtain?
Something.
Or like it's an old warehouse, board up the fucking windows. Like
it's
with
a fucking cardboard.
Well, right, like even just boarded
live there.
Even just boarded up windows wouldn't look out of place, right?
Right, exactly. Chambers suggests that paying Reyes in bonds. Reyes gets angry. Reyes goes to call someone, likely to have Dawn killed. Chambers throws his phone off the balcony. That was so ballsy.
Yeah.
Reyes pulls a gun. Chambers gives him the old razzle dazzle. Doesn't get shot. He pulls out his phone. And Michael's all yoink, toss. It was so fast. That's probably one of the best moves in the whole show. He's just like it's just gone. Oh, that was good. At the hostage stash spot, Sam and Fee are setting up the improvised weaponry. They throw in the flash grenade, go in, kick some ass, and get Dawn out. That's just that easy. Chambers gets a call from the family and then tells Reyes the family won't pay cash. Reyes kicks Chambers out of his place. Reyes and one of his goons go to the hostage stash place and find their people all tied up. And then the cops show up because that's always the answer.
Right. Michael
does his fuckery and then he calls the cops and then the cops clean up the mess. Says, hold on, I gotta call the wee woo maids. Back at the loft, Nick is super grateful and still dumb as fuck. Sam and Fee arrive with Dawn. Dawn smacks Nick. I bet everyone else in this episode thought about doing that shit at least once already too.
Yep.
Perry shows up at the loft at night. Michael lets him in. Perry asks for coffee. And of course, Michael only has instant coffee. Didn't offer him a yogurt. Perry tries to strangle Michael. Perry can actually handle himself pretty well. Perry says he'll make it look like a suicide. Michael pulls a gun out of a cabinet and shoots Perry in the stomach. Perry runs off, as you do when you've been shot in the stomach. Literally every show, like a gut shot, you're not going to die from a gut shot. Not instantly. That's a very painful.
You're not running anywhere though.
Hell to the fuck no. No. It's going to bleed a lot. And you're going to be in a lot of pain because it's going to rip through your fucking intestines and you're going to start going fucking septic. And, but you have time to get to some sort of emergency services, howbeit fucking painful as it's going to be. Literally any other show, you could get flicked too hard in the side of the fucking gut and dead. It's like, it makes no fucking sense. I can tell you how many times in shows like Game of Thrones and Vikings and all these other shows that I fucking watch will get stabbed in the gut and then fall over and die. You're like, bitch, you have 45 minutes.
Right. And this show, the guy just gets up and runs, like not even like struggling.
No, not even a flinch. He's just kind of like, ooh, ow, ooh, and then runs off. But then later Sam calls and says the cops found the guy who was actually impersonating Perry Clark in a dumpster, dead. Michael
like, why would he put himself in a dumpster?
Because the writers just didn't think about it.
Right. They're like, where would he be? I don't know, a dumpster.
Michael pulls a gun just like the one she was admiring at the mansion out of a drawer. And in fact, it's the very gun she was admiring. Michael bought it from Nick's boss. Aw, the end. Yeah. Say you love somebody with a Glock 40.
With a firearm. Happy birthday. Here is a firearm that I'm going to have to beg you 50 times to not use, at least not right away.
Please don't shoot them with the gun I just bought you for your birthday.
Please don't shoot right now. So we always asked, did we enjoy this show? I thought this was like a throwaway episode in like almost every way.
I kind of liked it. I like these ones where the plot isn't super is like overcomplicated by Madeline.
Yeah,
she hasn't been on 2 episodes. I'm already forgetting her name. I don't like her. She's so annoying, and the ones that don't have her in it to over manipulate and add like that meddling mother kind of vibe to the show, I appreciate. So I will give it above any of the episodes that Madeline is in.
Yeah, the other thing that's annoying about her, it does change later in the series. I'm not giving away any spoilers. It's like there are times when it's like she knows exactly what's going on and times where she pretends she doesn't know what's going on. Mm-hmm. That like goes away as the series progresses. But I could see that. I like her just because I like the actor, right? She's not written very well, though. I will give you that. You know what's really great though is that Nate is gone. That Nate hasn't been in an episode for several episodes.
Yeah.
And you're gonna like there's a certain Nate episode that you're probably really gonna enjoy for whatever reason.
He's get his ass kicked a lot. Slapped around like a lot.
Yeah, something like that. Something like that.
Like it just cuts in and Nate just and then it cuts out. Doesn't make any sense at all. It's just watching him get slapped once for nothing.
So here's one. Was the bad guy cool?
The bad guy portion of the episode had a lot less moving parts. I don't like it when they have like a triple layer of henchmen. That's too much. So this was just like the one kidnapper dude and then the one bad guy, and there wasn't a whole lot of extra fluff. And well, there was the people at the hideout or whatever, but there was only two of them. They had very specific purpose. The one guy had a very specific purpose. The bad guy had a very specific purpose. All of that was lined out really simply and without extra gears.
Yeah, and the people at the hideout, they didn't even have any lines.
No, except for ow. Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, they just had to walk by and be seen and mostly not heard. Yeah, I thought the bureaucrat guy, the guy that was pretending to be the bureaucrat, was a way cooler bad guy than the actual bad guy from The Job.
Yeah,
just because it was like interesting, sort of like that there was like a twist or whatever,
right.
Where he was
and what a twist! Like, because at the end, he really did play off that bureaucratic. Do you know who I am? My boss is such and such and so attitude towards those cops, and then at the end was a very like. He did like his whole demeanor changed. Whoever that actor was, it was instead of like so, like squinty, kind of. It was like, very serious,
right,
and very like I'm going to kill you.
And I think it was like I think that they wrote it in later probably that he was a fake bureaucrat because they probably wrote it that he was some bureaucrat that Michael killed, and then they were trying to figure out how they were going to tie that shit up and not have Michael like. Thrown in jail for murdering like a member of the intelligence community. They're like, let's just make it a fake member of the intelligence community. Make it an imposter.
He's another spy. He's some other spy.
Right. He's an imposter. So this one is going to be easy. This one's going to be easy on this episode. Only character syndrome. Did anyone in the gang talk to anyone about anything that wasn't to do with Michael? And the thing about this is nobody talked to fucking anybody about anything in this episode actually at all.
Mm-mm.
It was all just straight up about the job and very little about that even.
Yeah, it's like they're trying to get us to forget about the burn notice completely.
Yeah. And there was no real talk about the burn notice outside of like the very beginning when Michael thought that this guy was going to give him information about it. And then I guess at the end when he tried to kill him or whatever.
Right, but then the guy left the guy had a classified file in his briefcase. Was that just a prop or was that actually something? And he left the briefcase there when he ran out of the loft.
Yeah, we don't actually, I don't think that that didn't tie up, right? Like it didn't show Michael like looking through the briefcase or anything, which is, I mean, I would assume that he probably did.
Yeah, I mean, because I would.
And probably ditched it too, because having a dead fake, just having a dead person's briefcase in your loft is probably not really the greatest thing in the world. I don't know. Maybe he kept it. Maybe we'll see it later. Maybe it was nice.
It was a souvenir. It was a Samsonite.
Yeah, maybe it was bulletproof. Who knows? Did they dress Michael well? Not even as far as I'm concerned, not even as the alias.
No, they're saving all the good punchy stuff for the last 2 episodes.
They're saving all the good stuff for season 3, if we're being honest. No cringy stereotypes in this episode, but the surfer guy kind of.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was cringy. I kind of feel
like that's why they made him ethnic.
Yeah, he was like supposed to be Hawaiian or something, right?
Yeah, or something. I have no idea. I don't want to assume. Because I don't want to get the show that nobody listens to canceled, but that was a cringy stereotype for the, all this kid does is house at houses. And so he's very obviously stupid.
Right, right. I mean, I don't know. He like tried to give Michael fucking surfboards and shit. It was like bad. It was
Well,
like, hey
he said
bro, do
he
you
had
want surfboards?
$15,000. Where did his $15,000 go? He said,
Well, he doesn't have to pay rent. So if he's getting paid also in addition, like if these, I mean, think about the kind of money you would have if you're, if you have these houses, you're like, I'm going to be out of town for 3 months. Here's 20 grand to watch my house. I mean, like think of, those things, even back then, those were $20 million mansions or whatever,
Yeah.
right?
true facts.
So, and how serious this episode taking itself as a spy show? I'd say maybe more than some of the others, just because of the bureaucrat that turned out not to be a bureaucrat that like had hoodwinked Michael into thinking that he was a bureaucrat. But
The
like
fakey
that's
crap.
I'm just trying to be polite here.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how much of a spy or spy adjacent you have to be in order to bust a somewhat cartoonish ring of kidnappers.
Yeah,
But it wasn't a ring because I don't think there was that many people involved. It was more of a square.
And this is just another sort of example of how this show is absolutely not propaganda, because you would, if this was in any way trying to act like the cops were competent, the cops would have caught these fucking people.
You threw 9 episodes of the type of mayhem they leave in their wake in some instances. There would be a pretty good profile on Sam, Fee, and Michael by now.
Yeah, yeah, and again, I was talking specifically about the bad guys in this, but actually, yeah, they've committed many felonies and many felonies. Many felonies.
They blow a lot of shit up. They fucking fuck with FCC shit. They're out there fucking around with guns. Like you can't just run amok in Miami like this.
They keep tricking people into getting arrested. Like,
yeah, they do that almost every episode, tricking somebody into get arrested.
Right, the dispatcher must know their voices by now.
The cops are a weapon. It's one of their weapons. It's a weapon that they use.
Right. But other than that, the police are fucking useless.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, I guess some shit exploded over there. I don't know. I think the idea here is that he's like protected, right? That when he's in Miami, he's not just protected from other intelligence operations, but maybe that he's protected from the local PD by like the CIA or whatever. But that's stupid.
That's probably a good implication.
That's stupid though, because then the CIA would be like having to tell, like, imagine like explaining to the local PD. They're like, he's probably gonna blow some shit up, but you should just ignore it. Like, I don't know, like, what's that conversation look like?
Right. So also, I'm picturing another conversation that's happening in jail right now, where all of these people that Michael has ended up getting thrown behind bars are now forming up the We Hate Michael fucking club and are gonna become a fucking super villain towards the end, where they're all gonna like they all have money. They're all going to post fucking bail at some point if you go through the actual rules of the judicial system. And eventually they're going to come after him.
Right. And some of them know where the fucking loft is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that guy that the bounty hunter was going after probably got his ass rearrested and probably had to spill the beans on them. So they know where Fee's really nice apartment is. Mm-hmm. They've taken like a handful of people to Madeline's place. Like all the locations, their locations are like doxed probably by this point. They're not, none of this is a secret, but I got to tell you, I feel sorry for the person that tries to break into Fee's place, honestly.
No, yeah, you want to leave her snow globes alone.
And like, I mean, if she has to, she'll just blow up the whole apartment complex with you in it.
Yep.
Kill all her neighbors and shit because she's just like that. I'd put this episode, I don't know. You said this was better than any of the ones with Madeline. I'd say this is not maybe the worst, because the worst one I still think is, was it the last one? I think the last one was the worst one.
Really? No, I think the one with the girl, the one with the little high school, that was the worst one.
That was pretty bad, but it was bad writing. I don't know if Homegirl was a bad actor, but they wrote her like stupid. They wrote her really stupid, like really like unaware of what was going on. You're right. Yeah, I don't know. I'd put this like maybe in the middle, maybe closer, like under the middle. I don't know. Maybe the second worst episode. It's hard to tell, man. None of these have been winners so far. Actually, the pilot was, I think, the best one so far.
it set a good it set a good bar.
Well, I guess that's the fucking show. Everybody, thanks for checking out Used to Be a Spy. If you're on the podcast, check out our Patreon, patreon.com/echoplex, or our shop at Fourth Wall. It's eplex.store. And you can get the members version of this, plus a bunch of other stuff. And we can get some merch going over at the merch shop. You can pick up some Christmas stuff, whatever. We should probably make some Used to Be a Spy merch, now that I think about it. Anyway, thanks for listening to the podcast. Make sure you're following it and share it with your friends. Bye.
Bye.